Estes and the Houston Astros are in Cincinnati to face Ellie De La Cruz and the Reds.
And it's in the air. High and deep left center field.
The Astros at the Reds. Coverage begins tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern with first pitch at 4:10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
Saturday, after the biggest weekend in WWE, what happens at WrestleMania doesn't stay there.
Sweet, sweet revenge.
It follows you. And in Tampa, it is back.
All scores are settled.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Chris Sale starts game one of the weekend series at the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Braves ace is 6-1 with a 2.14 ERA. Slight underdog at -105 against Emmett Sheehan to the Dodgers -115. Series price, Dodgers $1.40 favorite to win the weekend. Baseball today, Alabama Crimson Tide at South Carolina. The Tide laying $2 in Columbia. Mississippi State $1.66 home favorite against the Auburn Tigers. It's UAB laying $1.20 at home against Charlotte, while Troy is -125 at home at South Alabama. NASCAR this week at Watkins Glen. Shane Van Gisbergen the favorite to win all three races. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Ross Roberts and his team at Valley Equipment Rental, and they have a brand new product for you. If you happen to be standing on a concrete or tile floor, Valley Equipment has the exact machine for you. Now, whether it's new construction or daily work environments or an area that's been neglected for far too long, the Valley Equipment team of experienced professionals can help you get the right floor scrubber or sweeper for your needs. Call Valley Equipment and ask them for more details on how they can help you out today.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby.
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here. The sound of Football Friday. Football music all throughout the show on Football Friday, including that little gem right there. The original Monday Night Football music. Welcome in. Glad you are with us here on this Football Friday. We do have a solid dose of football in here today, as we do each and every day. We're going to talk with Trey Wallace from Outkick.com. He's coming up in the second hour of the show. Trey covers actually all college sports for Outkick. So we'll talk about the 76-team NCAA men's basketball tournament and how that all works. And is it going to be like the top 10 seeds are all automatically in the tournament? So that would be 40
And then the 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s, and 16s are playing off to get into the tournament to be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that would be 12. That would be 24 teams, 12 games. I don't know. I think that's how it's going to work. I'm not 100% sure, but, maybe he can help us with it a little bit. And we'll talk about whether or not I got to make that out of my bracket, because that's the big thing. The biggest thing is, do we have to make that out in our bracket? We'll also talk about the AFCA recommendation to go to 24 teams in the football playoffs. There's a little confusion on that one as well regarding group of 6 teams. Is it one spot that the group of 6 will get guaranteed in the 24-team tournament, and then everybody else is just ranked, based on the rankings? There's no conference championship games. What exactly are they recommending? So they get a guaranteed spot, and then everybody else. So in other words, if there were 3 teams that were in the top 24 that were group of 5, a group of 6 teams now, then they would get in. Everything is getting very confusing. I got to be honest with you. Everything is getting more. It's like they're intentionally trying to confuse us. I mean, take the NBA last night. I couldn't find those frigging games. I couldn't. I mean, I had some things to do last night and didn't get in the rack until a little bit later on. Watch a show with my wife. I record games. I have them on the DVR so I can go back then and check them out. And I'm like, she hit the rack early. And I'm like, it was probably 10 o'clock. She was done. So I'm like, okay, I'll watch the late game. Got to be where? ABC? No. NBC? No. ESPN? Got hockey. ESPN did? No. Where is the friggin' game? Are they not playing tonight? I mean, I don't want to work this hard to find the game. And they don't show up in my DVR. Why? The game was on Prime. It was over there in the Prime. Just too difficult. I finally just give up. Give up. So Beau Estes from NBA.com is back as the second round did roll on last night. OKC and Detroit took commanding 2-0 leads in their series. I knew, like the Detroit-Cleveland game, I knew it was on. I was at Jefferson's in Winchester having dinner with my wife, and the game was on. And I'm watching it. I'm like, well, I'll watch that later on tonight. I'll watch the rest of it later on tonight. Zip through it. Get to the key moments. No. Oh, that's right. Prime Video. It's driving me nuts. And Prime Video games, now I guess you could start from the beginning, but Prime Video, they don't show up in your DVR. It's over there. Not to mention I'm paying for that. I'm paying for the MLB. I'm paying for everything. It's just gotten very difficult. And I know what you're thinking. I know you're thinking, that this is a dog problem.
Get off my lawn.
I know what you're thinking. But I don't think that's the case. Just make it too difficult. All right, so we've got that stuff for you as well. Look, we got a wide open first hour for you. And I ended up doing some stuff this morning that took me. I have round 2 of the venous ablation surgery procedure, whatever you want to call it, today after the show. They did my left leg about 3 weeks ago, and today they're doing my right leg. Can't do them at the same time. Why? I'm like, why don't you just knock this out? When I was there and they were doing the left leg, I'm like, we're going to do both anyway. Why don't we just knock out both legs at the same time? Can't. So I thought there was a medical reason. So I'm like, well, why? Is there a problem? I mean, I know that it would be very difficult to walk and everything because I'm hobbled for a few days after the procedure. I'm like, can we just do them both? And they're like, no. I'm like, oh, would that be a problem? I need to have, you got to make sure one is good first before you do the other. No. Well, why can't we just do them both then? Insurance won't let us do them both at the same time. You got to be kidding me. Okay. So there you go again. More stuff. I mean, I get it. I understand where you guys are probably, you don't even want to hear this stuff.
Get off my lawn.
But anyway, so I had to do some stuff this morning. There's some prep involved and things like that. Procedures coming up at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Dr. Basaraba's office. Dr. Basaraba's office is amazing. They do an incredible job. That's my cardiologist, but they also do the vein work, Dr. Basaraba. They advertise in Winchester, on ESPN Winchester, and we certainly appreciate that. But Dr. Basaraba, he's my cardiologist. He's hard to understand a little bit sometimes, but I love the guy. I mean, he saved my life. I'm just going to say it right now. I'm just going to put it out there right now. Dr. Basaraba saved my life when I was 55 years old. My heart was dead. I mean, they had me going and talking to Vanderbilt about a transplant and everything else when I was 55 years old, 10 years ago. And my EF was 22. Normal is 75 to 55. Mine was 22. They called me right back in after a physical and said, you should be on the ground right now with a 22 EF. He put me on Entresto. He stuck a device in my chest that is a defibrillator / pacemaker. I'm now on my second one. They ran wires down into my heart, and they put that thing on there, that defibrillator, which is, it's just, just in case. It like automatically jumps you. And the good part about it is like if the battery dies on my lawnmower, I just hook up the jumper cables to my nipples and I can just jump the lawnmower. But I don't know if that's true because I haven't done it yet. But so that one, they say it's going to last 8 years, the device. Mine lasted almost 10 years because I didn't use it very much because he put me on different medications and a cocktail that really got me right. I mean, he got me all the way up to 44. I asked him to take the thing out of my chest, and he said, no, we're going to leave it in there. Dude saved my life, Basarama. Now he's making my legs feel better with the vein stuff. I mean, I see him in a hall. I don't get to, he's not the one that's actually doing it, but it's a good job by those guys. Anyway, so that's coming up. So I'll be totally honest with you. I've been trying to catch up as quickly as possible. I usually do at least 2 hours of prep for a 2-hour show. I don't just open this mic and just start talking. If I did, I probably wouldn't be talking about, my heart condition. But it cut deeply into the prep. So if you want to jump on, the first hour of the show is wide open. 256-576-4977. That's good however you consume the show. Text window is open as well. We'll read and react to those on the air. 7329-TA show. 732-982-7469. And finally, you can watch the show as well. WZZN TV and the YouTube, Facebook, and the X. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. That's where you find it. The boys posted it there. And I got to say something. AC actually said something that makes sense. AC says a lot of things that don't make sense, and he says a lot of things that he's a bandwagon guy. He's an admitted bandwagon guy. So he's a moto. AC is a moto. He's a master of the obvious, But he gets into these, some of his arguments that he makes. Like he wants to make the argument that Bill Russell is the best player in the history of the NBA because Bill Russell won 11 NBA championships. And so he goes straight to how many championships you won. And I'm like, Bill Russell's phenomenal. There's no doubt about it. He was amazing. But Bill Russell played in a different NBA than there is now. First of all, there was 8 teams. And secondly, let's be honest. There was a unwritten coda as to, how many African-American players you would have on a team. He did not play against the best of the best. He did not. There was this quotient, you can have a couple on the court at the same time. You can have 4 or 5 on the team. That's it. Black guys. So he was playing in a different NBA. And the fact that he won 11 championships in 13 years is amazing, but there were 8 teams in the NBA then. So let's not get too crazy.
My response was, is Yogi Berra the best baseball player ever? He won like 10 World Series. No, he's not the best baseball player ever just because his team won 10 World Series. He's a fantastic, underrated player. So anyway, AC says a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. He made a comment, and I'm speaking to the guys on the other side of the glass as much as anybody else right now here. He made a comment that made great sense. He posted it to a bunch of shows that he likes to listen to, including this one. And he said, all y'all, when you guys post about the show, about what's coming up, especially the hosts really don't do that. For the most part, the hosts don't do that. The hosts might repost it, but typically the producers will put the show up or whatever. He said, when you do that, you should put the phone number up as well. You should always put the phone number up as well so people know how to communicate with the show. It actually makes a lot of sense. We should put it probably should put it in the post. Now with us, when my guys post the show that it's available on WZZN TV, you get it. It's right there. And at the top of the page, it says call in 256-576-4977. And on the other side, it says text 732-982-7469. So it's right there. It's right there. But it does make sense that we should probably put the number up there when we do that. Did you see that there's a Memphis politician that wants Memphis to secede from the state of Tennessee? You hear this guy? He's talking about this redistricting and everything that's going on in these states, and he made this comment.
And if that is the case, let me make it easier for you. Let Memphis secede from the state of Tennessee. You don't have to redraw maps when you let us out. Let my people go.
Is he serious?
And I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah, he is. Apparently. Antonio Parkinson is his name. And I'll just say this, as somebody who's been a resident of the Tennessee Valley, both in Alabama and Tennessee, since 2004. So for 21 years I've lived here. Okay. When can we get this done? Who wants them? Arkansas doesn't want them. Do they? I mean, they already have. Arkansas has West Memphis. You want the whole Memphis, Arkansas? We got to draw the line just this side, just the other side of the pyramid. We get to keep the pyramid, the Bass Pro Shops at the pyramid, and then we'll carve out the rest of. You can have them. I don't think Arkansas. They don't need them. They have a city. At least they got Little Rock. The Mississippi. Mississippi really doesn't have much of a city, right? What's the biggest city in Mississippi? Jackson? Mississippi really doesn't have. I think that Mississippi should have Memphis. Go ahead. Take them, please. Do that. Anybody can argue with that? PGA Tour old-timers think that the Live golf guys, or the Lexi golf guys now, because it's not Live. Live stands for 54. They play 72 now, so really it's LXXII, not LIV. The Lexi guys, we'll call them, they think they should go play the Corn Ferry Tour and earn a spot back on the PGA Tour. I don't really hate that idea. I understand what's going on in the PGA Tour, but you know what they did with Brooks Koepka, they gave him that one time. Those guys had 1 week to make a decision, to come back and pay a $5 million fine. But if you're going to apply that to, say, John Rahm, and he got like $150 million, what's a $5 million fine? I got to be honest with you. I don't hate the idea of sending them. Go ahead. Send them to the Corn Ferry Tour and say, earn your tour card. If you're good, you'll earn it. Not a terrible idea. And by the way, speaking of confusion, so I saw, while I was at Jefferson's last night in Winchester, I saw Mississippi State hit the grand slam in the first inning to take the 4-0 lead on Auburn. Big series there. Auburn number 5 in the country, Mississippi State number 10 at Mississippi State. And the Bulldogs hit this home run. And it's a grand slam, and they're up 4-0. And I didn't catch any of the rest of the game. So this morning,
I'm like, I wonder how that game ended up. Did Auburn come back? So let me go to AL.com because it's, AL.com. It's the newspaper. It's the version of the newspaper, the old Huntsville Times and all of that stuff. I go to AL.com sports page and find out what happened in the game last night. Alabama high school football, 5 edge rushers QBs should be aware of in 2026. That's the major story. Tim Keenan, the third in the NFL draft. All I could do was hold on to the Lord, like Tim Keenan. Met him at SEC Media Days. South Alabama adds FCS outside linebacker to the 2026 roster. Okay. AHSAA Soccer recapping Thursday's semifinal action. What's next in championship play? Okay, those are results of the high school soccer tournament. Goodman, UAB athletics are a national embarrassment again. All right. Stallions aim to go full throttle. The remainder of the UFLs. Okay, where is this? What happened last night in the game? Can somebody tell me what happened last night in the game? Okay, maybe it's the next story. Oh, here's an Auburn story. Breaking down Alex Golish's last 6 offenses before becoming Auburn's head coach. How much does Alabama rely on ticket revenue compared to other SEC schools? Another Devontae Smith enters the NFL. Alabama high school baseball. See Thursday's playoff scores and schedules. Okay, that's fine. That's good. That's local. How about Auburn score? Alabama high school baseball. Number 1 Faith Academy sweeps Demopolis. More highlights. Okay, how about the Auburn, Mississippi State, number 5 and number 10 in the country score? How about that story? Maybe it's the next one. In the wake of the AHSAA investigation, Mary G. Montgomery takes the field for the spring game. How the Iron Bowl helped make Ty Simpson the number 13 pick in the NFL draft. Gardendale hires state championship coach to lead girls basketball program. Oh, okay. How to watch the Lakers and the Thunder. Oh, that story is 18 hours old. I'm before the game happened. How is it that AL.com does not have the story of I know that Mississippi State won 10-4, I think is what the final was. 10-3, maybe, something like that, in the opening game of that series. But how is it that AL.com doesn't have a story? What are we doing? What are we doing? Now, my guys, that wouldn't happen with my guys. But it sounds like we're whole again in the other side of the glass.
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together on a spit and polish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
I have a sentimental weakness for my children, and I spoil them, as you can see. They talk when they should listen.
Give me back my son!
I don't like violence, Thom. I'm a businessman.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
If you ain't first, you're last.
Do you hear the grasshopper, which is at your feet?
Old man, how is it that you hear these things?
Young man, how is it that you do not?
As quickly as you can, snatch the pebble from my hand. When you can take the pebble from my hand, it will be time for you to leave.
Oh, baby, we're back.
Good to have you back in play here. John's been at John Hunt Park in Huntsville for the last 2 days, broadcasting these games on the statewide high school sports network, along with our good friend Bailey. And I guess today, classes 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and 5A will have championship games at John Hunt Park, and the 4A matchup with Westminster and Oak Mountain and Mars Hill. Westminster, Oak Mountain, and Mars Hill kick off the day today in the 4A deal. I mean, you're not doing these games today. So how was your experience? How many games did you do in the last 2 days? You do about 9 games?
I did 10 games, and I got to admit, I had a whole lot of fun doing it. I've never called a soccer game in my life. And once I first started, I was like, what am I in for? Because I thought it would be me and Beatty kind of tag teaming like one game at a time. But then he was on field 4, I was on field 3.
Oh.
And yeah, I was just thrown right into
By yourself?
By myself.
And you had to do play-by-play on soccer?
Yeah, on the NFHS network. And let's just say I over-explained it the first time, and I think it's because of the radio gigs that I've had in the past. But
yeah, they're watching it.
Yeah.
They can see it, but still reversing the field
doubt,
and that kind of
But
stuff. And then
day
how were you
2
with the names? Did you get names and stuff? Did you have rosters?
I started getting those down, and sometimes the rosters were a little bit difficult. I had to write them down in my own booklet, and so I had them all straightened out. But the coaches were very good at getting me the rosters, even though the people up top, the PA and all that, were taking most of them. But started off pretty rough, and then day 2, I was kind of in my flow state, and I was starting to treat it more like a TV broadcast, more analysis, less of just explaining almost everything. And I had a lot of fun with it. Did 6 games yesterday. I was not at full health. I'm still not 100% at full health because
you sound a little sketchy. Yeah.
Wednesday it was storming sideways, left and right. Then it was windy, and then it was just cold. So we had to push back a few games. So it was.
Well, what do they? The only thing that stops them is lightning, right?
Yeah. And there were, I think, 2 or 3 lightning delays. So it got pushed back quite a bit, and it turned out to be 2 very long days, but they flew by. I mean, it felt like they flew by because I was having so much fun with it.
Did you have any nutmegs? Were you able to get a nutmeg in there where where you get a nutmeg where the ball goes in between the legs of the defender?
Yeah, I threw that out there
nutmegs?
once or twice, but there were definitely more of those than I thought would actually happen.
Did you set the formation? Were they like 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 formation? Those things. You got to do the formation from the back to the front.
Yeah, it started just like appearing in front of me. I was like, I know this formation. Oh, this means they're going to be a little bit more on the attack. This means they're going to play a little bit more defensive, try and slow down.
The Italians are famous for playing a 4-5-1. They only put one forward up there, and they just look for one shot basically in the game. That's kind of how they play. That's really, really bad stuff. Do you know that your oldest sister was a soccer champion?
I did. I did.
She was a Section 5 New York soccer champion. She was captain of the team, led the team in scoring, and was the MVP of the sectional championship tournament, back in the day. So we have a little bit of that in there. And one of my very, very first broadcast assignments was I did pregame, halftime, and postgame for the Rochester Raging Rhinos.
Yep.
So I never did the game itself, but I was always the sideline guy, or I would be the post-game guy and stuff like that, all the way to the point where they beat the Colorado Rapids at Columbus Crew Stadium for the U.S. Open Cup. I was the sideline reporter for that game.
That's pretty cool.
Columbus Crew Stadium. But it's a better game live than it is on TV. But I'm glad you got it. Now, here's the thing. Did you get fired? Because why aren't you doing games today then? Why did they have somebody else to bring it home with the championship games?
Yeah, it's a little sad I don't get to do it today and tomorrow, but they only needed me for Wednesday and Thursday. That's all that I was really set up to do. So they've got it covered. They'll have a great broadcast over there on the NFHS network, and I'm going to try and make it over there right after the show, and I got to see it all the way through. I saw this final format.
But you're not working? You're actually going to watch it?
I'm going to go watch it. It looks like a lot of fun at John Hunt.
Really? Well, it's a beautiful day for it. It's a beautiful day for it. So good job by you. It's interesting. I'm very proud of you, and I'm very proud of Joe. You and Joe yesterday, 2 of my 4 sons broadcasting. Yesterday. So the apple didn't far fall from the tree. Joe was doing girls softball, Franklin County girls softball yesterday. I don't know how that turned out, but he had that yesterday, and you were doing soccer. So you're doing high school soccer. Joe was doing high school softball. Danny was running Tommy's landscape company, and Tommy was washing his Corvette.
Pretty solid.
That was one of my 4 boys. That I'm like, what are you doing? And the next thing I know, I hear this sound outside my studio, and it's this rumbling sound, and it's Thomas's Corvette is out there, and his F-250 4-wheel drive big, beefy truck
is out there. His truck and his Corvette were out there. I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, he has all these properties, and he owns properties, and he owns a landscape company, and his younger brother, Danny, John's older brother, the one that between John and Tommy, he runs the landscape side. He runs that he runs that business for Tommy. And they were out on some big property on Timms Ford Lake where they take care of all of the properties. There's 60-something homes, 70 homes in a community, and they're responsible for mowing and weeding and edging the entire community. 70-something homes. So Danny's out there with the crew, and they're doing that. And so I'm like, Tom, why aren't you out there with your crew? He says, why would I do that?
I mean, that's what the boss man do. You don't gotta be there.
He's like, why would I do that? He said, my time's worth more than what I'm paying those guys. I said, yeah, but you're not gonna, you know what I mean? You save a few bucks, whatever. He goes, I gotta wash the car and the truck. Okay.
Priority.
He spent like 3.5 hours washing and detailing his car and his truck while he was making money. He's washing the car and the truck. I'm toiling away. Although I did go over to Food City and see the Kyle Petty charity ride yesterday.
I was a little jealous of that, but it's all good because I was getting money in my pocket, and I had it was a nice day
you gotta
at
get
the
paid.
office. Yeah. But I did get the opportunity now moving forward. I was told that I have a chance to do some golf in the future, which I very much look forward to.
God, I'd love to do golf, actually, to be honest with you. All right, let me get a break. The voice of the Tennessee Titans is Taylor Zarzar. He used to work at WNSR, our affiliate in Nashville, and he's now the voice of the Tennessee Titans. He does PGA Tour golf on Sirius XM radio. So, it's a thing. All right, let's get a break. We'll come back. We'll take your phone calls when we return. I'm Thom Abraham. This is the Thom Abraham Show.
If you've ever been in a car wreck, it almost feels like being in a movie. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people every day.
The Lackey Law Firm.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck and need a lawyer, is bigger better?
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family.
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Having thousands of cases is impressive, but do you want to be just a case number, one with lots of digits?
Or do you need a lawyer who gets to know you? With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, when you've been injured, we take the time to help.
Even in your hospital room.
Because at the Lackey Law Firm, you're not a number. We treat you like family, because that's what we are.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
And if you can't come to us, we'll come to you.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Our good friend Bobby White is now at Lynn Leighton Ford. And you know what you never find at Lynn Leighton Ford? Some mysterious dock fee that could be $600, $700, or $800. A dock fee is an add-on that some dealers will charge just to do the paperwork on your deal. At Lynn Leighton, the price you see advertised is the price you'll pay. That's the Lynn Leighton way. Transparency is important in buying these days, and that's what you get at Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton offers an extensive new and pre-owned inventory, as well as lease options, finance options, and expert auto service. They are dedicated to providing exceptional customer service and are an integral part of our community. And believe me, it's worth the short ride over to the Beltline in Decatur to see what Lynn Leighton Ford has to offer. And what you see on that window sticker is what you will get without the hidden mystery fees. We made the move, and so should you, to Lynn Leighton Ford in Decatur. Lynn Leighton Ford. Find them on the Beltline.
Introducing the Golfist, Huntsville's newest, nicest, and only multi-location indoor golf venue. Play over 2,000 courses with state-of-the-art simulator technology, perfect for golfers of all skill levels. For a limited time, grab an unlimited membership for just $99 a month. Or book with our grand opening pricing. It's the best value in Huntsville. Check us out at thegolfist.com.
Tom Abraham here for Valley Equipment Rental. You know, if you're a contractor installing fences, you need Valley Equipment Rental for augers of all sizes. And if you need a forklift to get those shingles up high on a roof, Valley Equipment has 10K lifts that reach to 56 feet. Valley also has tow-behind lifts that have a working height of 35 to 55 feet as well for power washing those two-story homes or doing whatever else you need to do. Lifts, forklifts, tow-behind lifts, 35 feet and up. They have your lift at Valley Equipment Rental. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
ALCert number 21014.
Welcome into the hottest and coolest game show around called The Freeze. Today's contestant, Bob. Bob, can you tell me the heating and air business that provides free service with repair?
Is it Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
Can you tell me which heating and air business provides free second opinions?
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning.
You are our grand prize winner. You have won a visit from the #1 heating and air business in the Tennessee Valley.
Talent Heating and Air Conditioning?
That's right. Talent Heating and Air is coming to you.
This is Thomas with Talent Heating and Air Conditioning, and you don't have to win a game show to use us. We have free second opinions year-round, and we're doing free service calls with a repair. So just remember, call Talent Heating and Air Conditioning at 256-503-4490 or visit us on our website at talenthvac.com.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by the Golfist, Huntsville's newest, coolest, and only multi-location indoor golf venue where you bring your own gear. Use the Golfist to play over 2,000 courses from around the world, including that one in Georgia that kicks off the majors. Plus, the Golfist is a great place to dial in your game or have an office event or private party. Their 3rd location in the Valley is coming to Hughes Road in Madison soon. Visit thegolfist.com for more info. That's GOLFFICE, thegolfist.com.
Nice, all football music on a football Friday in the doghouse. Glad that you are with us. Trey Wallace from Outkick.com and Beau Estes from NBA.com coming up in hour number 2. We're open between now and then. By the way, I mentioned that I went up to the Kyle Petty charity ride as they descended upon Food City in Winchester, Tennessee yesterday. It was very, very cool. Got a chance to talk to Kyle a little bit. Remember, he was on the show with us not too long ago to promote the event, and he was great then, and he was great yesterday. The King was there as well. Grumpy came by later on, and I was there before the event started. I was talking with the PR guys and so on, and they let me inside the area where the bikes and everything were coming in. I wasn't credentialed, but they let me in there because I had worked with Kyle and those guys were really, really good. And then I left there, and I rode my bike up there. I did ride my bike up there. I left there after about a half an hour or so, and when I left, there was a long line. Hey, Kyle was very, very nice about it because I said to him, I really appreciate you coming on, and he goes, no, I really appreciate what you did for us. And I told him we had promoted it again yesterday, and he said to me, you're the reason why all these people are here. I'm like, nah, I doubt that. I think it's the old guy in the cowboy hat. Probably there's a reason that everybody's here. Yeah, nobody knew about it. So he was very, very nice about that. And so then I left, and when Grumpy got there later on, like 2:15, they were pulling out at 2:45, and Grumpy got there, and he said it was only like by then 20, 25 people in line to get autograph from the King. And Grumpy got a picture with Richard Petty. It's a pretty cool picture. In fact, what I need to do is I'll send you guys the picture of me with Kyle Petty and Grumpy. I'll send you the picture of Grumpy with Richard Petty, and you guys can post that. I'll get you that picture. But it's too bad that you guys missed that because I think you guys would have gotten a kick out of it. And they had Food City had their big. Have you ever seen the Food City? At Bristol where they sponsor the race there. Food City has a race car chassis that is a shopping cart. Have you ever seen this?
Dude,
I mean,
I used to love to ride in those when I was a younger kid.
No. This thing is the size of a dump truck. I mean, It's huge. It's big. It's the size of a dump
I know
truck.
exactly what you're talking about then. And I think Brody knows exactly, too. He might have been
Hollywood, you know what I'm talking about?
I saw it at Bristol in 2023.
Yeah, you saw it at Bristol, and it's loud. I mean, it literally is a NASCAR chassis and engine. I mean, it just sounds exact. I had my back turned. I thought there was a car there. I thought there was a race car there. I turned around, and it's a shopping cart the size of a dump truck that is mounted on top of a race car that has no it has the chassis, but it doesn't have a body. You know what I mean? The body is it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Did you guys see the picture of the bus and everything that came rolling in? I think I might have sent you the video. Did I send you the video of the car of the bikes pulling in?
Yeah. I saw the video in one of the chats. You might not have sent it to Brody, though.
Yeah. It was quite the scene. All right. Paulie in the Cape is Paulie in the Cape. Welcome to the show, brother. How are you?
Pretty good. I'm here for the holiest and sacred day of the week, the Friday trifecta. It's the holiest day of the week, the Friday trifecta.
But I don't have any trifecta today. I mean, I got nothing going on. I don't have a trifecta for. We got the Braves and the Dodgers. That's a good thing, but we didn't. We only do special. We only do special trifectas in the summertime. We'll do one next week. We'll do a PGA Tour fecta, a PGA Championship fecta for the PGA Championship. We'll do that next week.
All right. Well, I had a good time at the VIP Dolphin.
I saw that
draft party.
Yeah. That was pretty cool.
We made the news. We made the news from the East Coast to the West Coast. I was on the news, sports news. Had a really good time. Food was awesome. The party afterward was awesome. So, looking forward to the season. See what happens.
Really? Don't you feel like it's a throwaway season for them? I mean, it almost feels like they're tanking already. I think they're tanking for one of them quarterbacks for next year.
I don't know about that. I mean, they were tanking. They would have traded back. It would have just traded back and get a whole bunch of picks. They had 13.
Yeah, but I mean,
they would have got another. They would have got another 5.
They bring in a middle of the road backup quarterback, and then they turn around and get rid of their number one receiver and Tyreek Hill. I don't know. It just feels like they're tanking.
Well, no, the Tyreek Hill got hurt. You're talking about Waddle.
Or Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tyreek Hill is still out there. He's out there too. So they got
Well, okay. You saw how bad he broke his knee. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't think any team would be like, oh, I can't wait to get him now. We lost a lot of draft capital when he got hurt.
Yeah.
But remember when Juice was starting to whine, I got all this talent and we're on a team that's starting to suck. So they traded him before he started, because he started to whine. Well, I think it was the same issue. They gave Waddle a chance to move on to a better team that has a better opportunity to go deep into the playoffs. And Denver could be a good option as a future to win their division, and also win their point differential. The win differential, which I'll be making a small bet in Vegas when I go play the WSOP next month. So.
There you go. Oh, you're going to play in that, huh? You got to let us know how that goes.
Yeah, I played the Colossus, and then I played the seniors tournament. So
what's the buy-in on that thing?
The Colossus is $500. It used to be $400, and that's the one where up to 13,000 people will enter the Colossus. It's the cheapest WSOP tournament, and then there's 2 seniors. There's the seniors if you're 60, and then the super seniors. I'm sorry, seniors I think is 50. Super seniors is 60, and that's $1,000 a piece.
Yeah.
So then then you can be more frugal and play the Golden Nugget series, or all the 6 big hotels have their own, copycat of the WSOP while it's going on. So you can play.
I can't imagine a poker. Can't imagine a poker tournament with 13,000 people in it, though. That's crazy.
Well, there's like 6 flights, and even for $500, if you get lucky and make the top 50, the top 100, you're getting life-changing money. So, yeah, it's worth the gamble. $500.
Now, is that the same? That's the same. Is that the same one where they have like the big guns in it at the end? Or no?
Well, it could.
I thought that's a $10,000 buy-in or something. I thought those guys put up 10 grand.
The
main event,
$10,000 one. Yeah, but I'm saying is, think about it. If you could get lucky and make it all the way through all those people and get up to that top 100, top 50, you're getting paid. You're getting paid. Last year, I think the guy won over $500,000, but that's that's 5 days of playing poker, sitting in a cave for 13, 14, 15. I made it 2 days and barely cashed out the minimum. But yeah,
you make $500,000. You're probably not calling the Thom Abraham Show anymore. Give me one more phone call if you make $500,000.
No,
call us and say, hey, I want
I'll be buying you dinner at Baumhauer's.
I'll be there. We'll go to Pincher's. I'll come down there. We'll go to Pincher's Crab Shack.
No, I want to go check out this place you keep talking about up there.
You need to come up.
Make a special guest. I'm going to for Christmas. I'm going to be there with a bunch of
beautiful
toys like they usually do.
That'd be great. All right, man. Appreciate
the action up there.
Yeah.
Go Dolphins.
All right. Appreciate you. Surprised you didn't go Yankees. The Phillips says that Bob Costas is pushing for Ted Turner to be inducted into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. He says, I couldn't agree more. That should happen. Yeah, it's a contributor. Ted Turner, yeah. I would say as a contributor as to what Ted Turner did, the Superstation, the impact that he had on baseball, yeah. Not as a manager. He managed the one game. But as a contributor, that's not a bad. I would endorse that. I would get behind that. Have to look into that a little bit more. Bama Big Rick is up next. Rick, welcome in. How are you?
Good morning, Tom.
What's up?
Listen, I like listening to your show every day, right?
Yeah.
But what was the reason the guy in Tennessee said that?
Because they want to redistrict Memphis so that there's more, they're trying, these states are all doing this. California started it, they're redistricting so they could get more Democratic seats,
No. It started in Texas, right?
Did Texas? I thought California started it.
No, Texas started it, right? Based on what your president said, he needed 5 more votes, right?
Yeah.
Republican-led states. Now, let's get when you come on this radio show, I understand what the guy said, but the reason because Donald Trump requested these states, I need more votes, right? More red states. Now we got representation for a completely red state. Now, let's look at the southern states. 17 out of 19 states are Republican-led states historically.
Right.
And they're the poorest state for its education. I don't want to get political on this thing, but let's be clear on it. These states are led by Republican-led governors, and they're the poorest states in the union, from health care to education and everything. Now, let's go. But you need
wait. You got it, Rick. You got to admit, it's the cities that draw them down, and the cities are Democrat-led. Nashville, Memphis, right? Those cities are Nashville or Democrat-led.
Can I finish, though? Republican-led governors are the ones that bring the industries into to help the cities bring these big companies. Like I live in Huntsville. These are Republican-led states that help the big cities that are basically Republican-led cities. But you need our players to be at these Republican-led universities to play. Now, I go to D.C. every year with LTS representing the postal leadership. We get a chance to speak to those people. So, for the Congress on behalf of the Postal Service, which is one of the biggest representations of employers in the United States. So when you come on a show like that, man, we're Black African Americans, right? We deserve a voice, right? Alabama voted the same way yesterday. That's all I'm saying. Give the complete picture.
Yeah, but I'll say this, Rick. I'll just say this. My comment about Memphis had nothing to do with the political side of it. Being that I've lived in Tennessee for 17 years, Tennessee has always had, like, Middle Tennessee has always had this rivalry with Memphis, and Memphis has this huge crime rate that brings up the crime rate numbers for the state of Tennessee because of Memphis, and we're always looking for reasons. If you don't live in Memphis, we're always looking for reasons to kick Memphis out of the state. So it was really just a tongue-in-cheek. The guy said we could let us go. Okay, go ahead, go to Mississippi, go someplace else.
Okay, Tom, but most people don't know that. So you have a wide audience. You know, you're listening around probably, I'm sure, America, even outside with XM radio,
sure,
whatever. I'm just saying, give it a complete picture, man, and look at this country, and then listen to who it's coming from. But anyway,
all right, I appreciate it. All right, Rick, appreciate you. Yeah, see, you know, and that's the thing about this show, and that's the thing, the way it really kind of should be, is Rick's got an opinion. It's a strong opinion. It's a good opinion. It's an educated, sounds like an educated opinion. And that's what we're here for, a regular discourse, whether it's sports. You know, in sports, we have those opinions. If you're an Auburn fan, an Alabama fan, a Tennessee fan, whatever you are, you know, you should be able to respect people's opinions and let them say their piece. I really wasn't making a political statement. That was more of a Memphis thing. Like, just get out of here, Memphis. They do hurt the state's crime rate. And, you know, you can get into a whole conversation about there's so many of these states that have Republican governors, and all the major cities are Democrat-led. You know, in Nashville, it's all Democrat-led, you know. Maybe not Huntsville, Birmingham, you know. But anyway. All right, let's get a break. We will come back, set you up for hour number 2 next, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Chris Sale starts Game 1 of the weekend series at the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Braves ace is 6-1 with a 2.14 ERA. Slight underdog at -105 against Emmett Sheehan to the Dodgers -115. Series price, Dodgers at $1.40 favorite to win the weekend. Baseball today, Alabama Crimson Tide at South Carolina. The Tide laying $2 in Columbia. Mississippi State $1.66 home favorite against the Auburn Tigers. It's UAB laying $1.20 at home against Charlotte, while Troy is -125 at home at South Alabama. NASCAR this week at Watkins Glen. Shane Van Gisbergen, the favorite to win all 3 races. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too, as the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities. Thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all. With features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer's satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Abraham here from my friends at All About Water, LLC. Look, those spring and summer rains are going to hit at some point, and when they do, you need Ryan at All About Water to help you deal with keeping it away from your foundation or doing damage on your property. Now, his background is in fluid dynamics, and that assures you that they can handle any job, including building and maintaining a pond or any other sort of water feature. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com. By the way, in the state of Alabama, all you got to do is look at Huntsville versus Birmingham. You know, politically, Huntsville led by a Republican mayor versus Democrat mayor in Birmingham. Huntsville, much lower crime rate, much better economy, much higher education. A lot of it has to do, obviously, with the space industry and Redstone Arsenal and those things as well. But I get what Rick's saying. And this has been going on forever, trying to redraw the map lines in various states. It's going on all over the country. Just happens. All right, coming up, Trey Wallace joins us from Outkick.com. He's up next talking college sports and expansion of these tournaments right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama. Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Chris Sale starts game 1 of the weekend series at the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Braves ace is 6-1 with a 2.14 ERA. Slight underdog at -105 against Emmett Sheehan of the Dodgers, -115. Series price, Dodgers $1.40 favorite to win the weekend. Baseball today, Alabama Crimson Tide at South Carolina. The Tide laying $2 in Columbia. Mississippi State $1.66 home favorite against the Auburn Tigers. It's UAB laying $1.20 at home against Charlotte, while Troy is -125 at home at South Alabama. NASCAR this week at Watkins Glen. Shane Van Gisbergen, the favorite to win all 3 races. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome in on a Football Friday in the Doghouse. Glad that you are with us. Football music throughout the show today. Doesn't matter what the season is. It's always Football Friday here in the Doghouse. We welcome in a new audience today listening in on Nashville Sports Radio in Nashville, in Murfreesboro, go along with 97.7 ESPN in Huntsville, and, of course, ESPN Winchester in Winchester as well. We'll get those phone lines open up again a little bit later on in the show, 256-576-4977. You can also text the show, 732-982-7469. All right, so that will get you into the show as well. And busy hour, this hour of the show. Beau Estes from NBA.com is coming up a little bit later on in the show. But right now, a chance to talk to Trey Wallace from Outkick.com. He covers all kinds of college sports there. They're expanding all of our tournaments. We don't know who's asking for this, but maybe it was Trey that caused it. I'm not sure. He joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, and as well on WZZN TV is where you'll find his smiling face. Trey, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just funneling through expansion, eligibility, house settlement, you name it. Everything's going on right now in college athletics, and there's no off season. So hope you're good, Tom.
Yeah, I am good. And yes, you're right. There is never an off season in college sports. That's for sure. And we get the word officially now that the basketball tournament, let's start there, goes to 76 teams. Who was clamoring for this? I mean, was there like this outrage from the public or from the fans that really needed to have, this tournament be expanded to this point?
Yeah, darn sure wasn't the fans. The fans are pretty content with what we had, and as me, even being a college basketball fan, at the forefront is I didn't see the reason for expansion. I didn't think that was needed, but when we're in an increased revenue time in college athletics, there's always a money grab in the situation. It seems as if they continue on handing out participation trophies to schools and let them put on their season programs that we made the NCAA tournament. And I think, when you ask where it comes from, Tom, this comes down to power commissioners, in my opinion. There's no clear outline of, hey, look, we're going to split these new bids up between half in the mid-majors and half of the power conferences. It's more or less going to be a crapshoot. And for some odd reason, I understand the reason from a financial aspect, but we could be sitting here talking about, the 14th best team from the SEC got into the NCAA tournament. Congratulations. I think this is overblown in a sense from how much these commissioners wanted this, meaning they're going to be feeding their egos for the next number of years. And to be honest with you, I think the expansion is pretty pointless.
Yeah, and of course the coaches are going to be for it, right. And we'll get to the AFCA in a minute, and their recommendation for the football tournament. The coaches are going to be for it because it's job security. I made the tournament. How can you blow me out? I made the tournament. Yeah, you made the tournament. You were 10-18 in the conference, and you made the tournament. So that right. I guess you're going to keep your gig. How is this? What do you see in the first iteration is how is this going to work? Are we going to have like 40 teams that are in and then 24? I don't know what the math is here. Is there going to be 12 games now on Tuesday and Wednesday? Is it 11 playing 11, 12 playing 12, and so on? How does this whole thing work?
So you're going to have all 14. All 14. All 4 16 seeds. You're going to have a number of 15 seeds that are included in this. You're going to have 11, 12, and 13 seeds in this, and they're just essentially going to pick which ones get in. You're going to have what we all call the first
16, though, or does an 11 play an 11? You know what I mean?
That's something that they're still determining. I just know that the numerical teams that are going to be in and how they're going to do it is they're going to split this up. They're going to have, what we call the first 4 in. That's going to still be in Dayton, but then they're going to find another location to host the other. So essentially what you're getting is you're going to have 12 games over Tuesday and Wednesday. And then you're going to have to figure, and then you're going to have to figure out, okay, is it Las Vegas that's going to host this other round? Is it New Mexico State? And look, that part will get figured out. But you're going to have triple headers, and then you're going to have these teams, flying to their next destination on Thursday and Friday. Like it's overdone. Like I look at it and I think, okay, a Tuesday and Wednesday night, you got a first game tipping at 6:49, a next game at 9:30. Okay, let's roll. Well, now you're going to be starting at 4:00 in the afternoon, and I think that
earlier. It's going to be like Thursday, Friday. Now, from that standpoint. Right. From a radio standpoint, we kind of, that doesn't suck. You're going to have games, it's going to almost feel like Thursday, Friday, when you get this Tuesday, Wednesday deal. The other part of this, too, is do I got to make these games out of my bracket? You know what I mean? I don't want to be like, I got to fill in all of this now as well in my bracket. I mean, the 64 is such a perfect number. It almost feels like a
play-in tournament, if you will, like an extended play-in tournament, but we don't necessarily need to pick these games.
No, that's exactly what it is. And there are administrators out there that were upset that they did this. But here's the thing: the NCAA is not turning down sponsorship dollars. They're not going to turn down the additional $300 million in revenue that they'll get over 6 years of this remaining contract with Turner Sports. And at the same time, and here's the other thing too. I did the math. I mean, each additional school that gets in is going to get about $130,000. Like, was all of this worth it for that part? No, not in my opinion. But again, you're going to have the 13th, 14th ranked team out of the Big Ten that makes it because, and also, look, they have to sell this thing from a television standpoint, Tom. So, and I mean, I don't care to watch the 14th best team in the SEC take on the 14th best team in the Big Ten. I just don't care, and maybe they set it up with mid-majors and whatnot. But I think at the end of the day, this was a power play. And this has been something that's been discussed for the last 3 to 4 years. Like, you knew it was coming. And what this also does is, being honest with you, this just sets up expansion in 6 years. They're going to expand it again. It's probably going to be 90 teams. Like that. That's just what, if they're willing, Tom, to do this now when you had a perfect tournament. Like some of the games are blowouts and whatnot, but dang, we had some really good games, and the ratings are through the roof. So if you're willing to screw that up when nobody's asking for it, you just know when a new television contract comes up in 6 years, they're going to go back and say, all right, cool, let's get more teams in, let's get more revenue. And so where is the stopgap with this? I don't know, and there's a lot of people out there that don't know either.
And I enjoy the conference tournaments in basketball. You know what I mean? The basketball conference tournaments are great, so they're going to have to go to the weekend before and start, having a tournament before the tournament, if you will, if you continue to expand. And it's also counterproductive, Trey, in this era of NIL because the men's side's going to kind of start looking like the women's side. And that's a whole nother thing. The fact that they're doing this with the women, there are like 8 teams. The women could go to 24. You know what I mean? Right. We'd have a representative tournament if they went to 24, to be honest with you. But, you got to have this equality thing going on. But the men are going to start looking like that more and more now that the mid-majors have become the feeder system to the major conferences. I mean, somebody had said they're like AAA. They are, in both football and basketball. And so we're even more top-heavy than ever, yet we're going to let even more teams in to play meaningless games. It's going to be like watching the NIT. There's no chance that any of these teams are going to do anything in a tournament. Those days are done because everybody's flocking to where the money is now, and I don't see – we're just going to a bunch more games.
Well, it reminds me of the ongoing conversations we're having around the CFP right now. They're like, all right, well, let a lot of people coming out for 24 teams. And I'm like, okay, well, there's not 24 teams out there that are worthy to win a national championship. I'm sorry. Right. Maybe 6, 7 every single year. What are you going to have? A James Madison go on a run in the CFP to make the semifinal? No, that's just not logical. And so I think that, where we're at with college basketball is they had no reason in the world from an entertainment standpoint, and even if they were making buttloads of money, okay? So there was no reason to expand this thing, but they did it. They got pressure from Tony Petitti and Greg Sankey and Jim Phillips and Brett Yormark, from these different conferences, while the mid-major conferences, or some of the lower tiers are sitting around, well, wait a minute. Okay, like this is going to help y'all. How's it going to help us? Like, we're still going to be battling these mid-majors every single week to get on a ranking show or to be that last 1 or 2 team that gets in on Selection Sunday. And so, to me, that's the part that stands out the most is all we're doing, like I said earlier, is we're feeding the egos of these conferences. And in my opinion, it just doesn't make sense and it's useless.
Yeah, there you go. So Trey Wallace with us here from Outkick.com. All right, so to the football side. Now, the AFCA, God love them, I was a member. I coached in college football. I was a member. Even after I got into the media, I stayed in the media side of the AFCA. I've always been a big fan of the AFCA. But again, the football coaches, like, how can you fire me if I make the playoff? And so they want to expand the playoff. I was stunned to see the recommendation include getting rid of conference championship games. But then when I thought about it, there's only 2 conference championship games that make any money, and it's the Big Ten and the SEC. So the rest of the conference championship games, you could throw a hand grenade in the upper deck and not hurt anybody. I mean, nobody goes to them. Nobody watches them. The numbers are lower than they are even for the regular season. But the SEC championship game and the Big Ten championship game, they pull bigger numbers than early playoff games, and I was kind of surprised of that part of it as well. And now I know the AFCA has no jurisdiction over any of this, but it would be very interesting to see. They've kind of thrown their weight behind a little bit what the Tony Petitti and the Big Ten wanted.
Yeah, I look at it as this is job security for these coaches. And mind you, the AFCA is compromised. You've got assistant coaches, GAs, recruiting staff. I mean, there's 11,000 members. Okay, so for folks out there, it's not just head coaches, that are in the game voting for this. Look, it's simple. Gives them an opportunity. So if you're the 24th ranked team in the country and you might have an 8-4 season, something along those lines, well, you could say we made the playoff. Okay, well, I'm good for another year. But here's the thing. It's going to have to start shifting. Just because you make the playoff, if you go to 24 teams, doesn't mean that you deserve to still be that head coach at that school. So this could be a double whammy for some of these coaches out there that are advocating for this. I think we are just fine at 12. But the problem is, and why you are seeing a number of SEC coaches come out and talk about the 2014 playoff and not really be opposed to it, whereas in Greg Sankey is because when they were promised, in a sense, hey, we're going to go to a 9-game conference schedule, but by the way, we're going to do this and we're going to expand the playoff. So don't worry. Well, we're sitting here a year later after SEC spring meetings in Destin in 2025, get a 9-game conference schedule coming up in the SEC, and you don't have an expansion of the playoff. So it worked out to be an essential double whammy on at least the Southeastern Conference, where they're sitting around and they're wondering where even going to 16 teams was. So I look at it as, again, it's like what I said earlier. I'm sorry, the 23rd ranked team in the country is not worthy to win a national championship in football. You are giving out participation trophies to these schools, and I get it that there's funding and you got to create more revenue because you're having to pay the players. But at the same time, you're just oversaturating this thing. And once we get to that point, you're going to see some schools say, well, screw it. Why am I going to go play this hard opponent, non-conference opponent in week 4 or week 5 when I know that I got to go through the gauntlet of my own conference? So, I think with the title games, Tom, if they're going to get rid of it, which, by the way, is going to be very hard to do because even the SEC's case, they got a contract with ABC. They got a contract with Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's not as if Mercedes-Benz Stadium be like, all right, cool, we'll let y'all out. Fine, just give us a payout. The way you get around that, in my opinion, is you have 2 play-in games that weekend in Atlanta. You can do one on Friday night. You can do one on Saturday night. Whoever wins those 2 games, okay, they get the additional bids from the Southeastern Conference, along with whoever finished 1 and 2. Like, you can figure out a way around it. But again, the conference title games are such a benchmark for these places. And I understand your reasoning when you talked about other conferences having a hard time selling tickets and nobody in the stands. Big 12 got really lucky last year, in my opinion, with their matchup. But I don't disagree with you. And I will say this to add to that point. For the first time I think I've covered 13, 14 SEC championship games. I sat there last year in the press box, and I was like, man, I'm not feeling this one. There's no juice to this. I'd rather be in Indianapolis watching Indiana and Ohio State. And so you come out of that, and you're like, okay, do changes need to be made? And all that does is give ammunition. So I think they're a little bit out of the loop when it comes to the conference title games, and especially – I loved how they put in the end of that statement. I'm sure you read it. Pretty much I'm paraphrasing, but we're looking out for the student athletes and their health. Yeah. Okay, well, you also put in there that you want to get rid of 2 bye weeks and take that down to 1. So how does that help the stress on the body for a student athlete? So they were kind of all over the place.
Yeah, they were, but I did like what they're talking about scheduling wise because I've been a advocate for let's start this thing in August. That week 0, why is there only just a few? Let's get going, and then I would have no problem with the conference championship games being Thanksgiving weekend, with the rivalry weekend being the weekend before, and then let's use December. Let's play this playoff. And let's get this thing done before the NFL playoffs start. Let's get it done that second Monday in January. This extension of the season and the meandering through, some teams will go 4 weeks without playing in December, and then it's all jacked up. So I did like what they were talking about schedule wise.
Well, hell, it's Tom. I'm sitting there in South Florida this past year. It's January 19th, and we're playing a title game. And then we look ahead to Vegas next year, and it's, I'm not mistaken, January 26th. So you're pushing it back a whole nother week. Like it gets to a point where it's like, okay, your season's done. Figure out a way. And again, pushing it up a week. Week 0 before Labor Day weekend, which is going to happen, by the way. And I think that's a nice start, but you got to figure out ways to get it through where maybe you are done second week of January, and you're also not having to deal with the transfer portal and whatnot in all these schools. So, and by the way, that's another thing, Tom. If you add 24 teams to the playoff, okay, well, that's 24 teams that are going to complain about the portal and their access and how much work they can do. So, again, a lot to it. But at the end of the day, this comes down to the SEC and the Big Ten. One agrees with 24, one agrees with 16, and there hasn't been any middle ground anytime soon, and they've got about 7 months to find an agreement.
I go off the reservation. I go add 4 teams to the SEC, add 2 teams to the Big Ten, give me 2 conferences that have 20 teams each, split them in half. They each have a division. They have a conference championship game. Those winners end up meeting in the championship game. Those 40 teams, that would be all the college football that we needed, to be honest with you. Those 40, as long as you could get a couple of others in there that you need Miami, Florida State, Clemson. You need some of those people, but that's a whole nother argument.
I don't disagree too, because I was speaking with folks at my alma mater, University of South Alabama, just last week when I was in Mobile, and their biggest thing was, man, we would love a playoff on our own, a G6 playoff, and know that we're going to be able to be in contention for some type of trophy towards the end of the year, and we're fighting for something and not, fighting to sit at home. And I think the next thing you're going to see, Tom, is they're going to try to eliminate these bowl games. I know that's going to be hard with television contracts and whatnot, but these coaches are sick and tired of being 6-6 on the season and having to go play a bowl game 25 days after their regular season ends. So you're going to see a push for that in the near future.
I always say let's start the season with the bowl games. In fact, I play Army Navy right off the bat. I'll play Army Navy on Labor Day. Labor Day weekend or something. I mean, a holiday weekend. I mean, that wouldn't suck either. But that's again a whole nother story. All right, before I let you go, I am perplexed about one thing, and the NIL, the transfer portal is much worse than NIL to me. The transfer portal is a nightmare. I don't know how you coach this. I don't know how you coach a roster that the kids are just free agents all the time. I mean, it's crazy. But set that aside for a moment. When the story came out about Mark Cuban saying that he funded the Fernando Mendoza thing, my first thought was, okay, you mean did he put money in the hopper that they used out of revenue sharing from? No. He funded NIL money for Fernando Mendoza. And I'm like, what did Fernando Mendoza do for Mark Cuban? I mean, name, image, and likeness is Peyton Manning getting up there and doing a commercial for Nationwide. He's using his name, image, and likeness to get paid by a third party. That's what the whole thing about name, image, and likeness was supposed to be. You go sell Milo's tea for me, and I'm going to pay you, okay? When I hear that Mark Cuban ponied up $2-3 million, whatever, to pay Fernando Mendoza to play for Indiana, how does that even slide through? Because I never saw, Fernando Mendoza doing a commercial for any company that's owned by Mark Cuban. What did he do for him? I don't get it.
So according to some folks I've spoke with, Mark Cuban over-exaggerated a little bit when it came to actually how much he did pay or what he did pay for Fernando Mendoza. I agree with you. What did you see from Fernando that had any ties to a company that Mark Cuban owned. But again, what they're doing, all they're also doing is they're pooling all these funds together, and they're finding different avenues for them to sell advertise. And it doesn't even have to be for a Mark Cuban company. They can just find something for Fernando to go do a commercial for, or an autograph signing or whatnot. Look, all of this right now, and I hate the fact that they just, they keep dancing around the subject of pay for play. It's all pay for play. The bottom line now is we're not dropping bags off at the back doorstep. We're dropping them right through the front door. There's a very big difference now in what college athletics is. And if anybody wants to act like NIL is essentially for name, image, and likeness, I have oceanfront property in Kentucky that I would love to sell you. I think this is all just, and it is, it's a way to get around certain rules that are in place that obviously there's no guidelines on. But the only sponsors, Tom, that you're seeing with NIL are these monster corporate sponsors that are coming in that have ties to some schools that are able to use athletes to their benefit when it comes to selling whatever merchandise they have. This is all just how can we pad the roster, and that's why you're seeing $45, $50 million rosters this year, and in 2 years you're going to see $70 million rosters because you got people that are just funneling this money in, and I'm not saying through illegal ways, but I'm saying they're just handing over and signing checks. The biggest thing, though, and my concern, and it has been, and I've talked to multiple high-level donors at multiple schools, is the only return on investment you're getting is watching your team either cut down the nets at the end of the season or hoist the CFP trophy. That's it. So you're going to see donor fatigue over the next number of years, and they're going to have to find different ways to raise capital.
Yeah, I mean, when Bo Jackson did the Nike stuff, once he was a pro, when Bo Jackson did all the Nike stuff, they got their bang for the buck. When Michael Jordan did the Nike stuff, they got the bang for the buck that it was. This is not that, and I don't, and I don't begrudge. That's the American way, right? That I'm good with that. That's capitalism. If I get NIL money, right? These sponsors that I have that I do endorsement for, when I say, hey, Lynn Leighton Ford, that's NIL, name, image, and likeness, and I'm helping that company. They're paying me to promote their product. But that's not what this is. This is just people giving money and go play at my school so that I can sit there on a Monday night in January and say, yay, go State U. It's goofy.
6 years ago, Tom, it was $200,000 for a great offensive lineman, and they're going to figure out some payments that'll take care of behind the scenes. Now that number is skyrocketed. And again, they essentially just figured out, hey, I know we were doing it in hotel parking lots and out front of houses, and you had people dropping bags off. Now we're able just to wire the money and put it in your account, or we can just write you a check. That's how much the sport has changed. And, NIL, I hate that term because it's really not NIL. We all know what it is.
We need a CBA is what we need. We need some sort of a CBA. They're going to have a CBA. We're going to have a union. And we're going to have to get some guidelines on this whole thing, and it's going to have to involve contracts. Because, this free movement is crazy. Trey Wallace.
Congress ain't helping, Tom. I'm sorry for all the folks out there that think Congress is going to help. You think they care and going to be able to sell their seat because they're in favor of saving college sports? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's not going to work.
What do they ever help with?
Exactly.
In Washington, what do they ever help with? We're more gridlocked than we've ever been. Ever, I think, as far as in my lifetime, that's for sure. Trey Wallace has been our guest. Trey, continue the great work, man. It was a pleasure having you on. I'm saving your number or your email address, as they say these days, and we'll look forward to chatting again down the road.
Tom, look forward to it, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Trey Wallace. That was good. All right, we get a break. When we come back, Beau Estes from NBA.com. He's coming up next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Chris Sale starts game one of the weekend series at the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Braves ace is 6-1 with a 2.14 ERA. Slight underdog at minus 105 against Emmett Sheehan to the Dodgers minus 115. Series price, Dodgers $1.40 favorite to win the weekend. Baseball today, Alabama Crimson Tide at South Carolina. The Tide laying $2 in Columbia. Mississippi State $1.66 home favorite against the Auburn Tigers. It's UAB laying $1.20 at home against Charlotte, while Troy is minus 125 at home at South Alabama. NASCAR this week at Watkins Glen. Shane Van Gisbergen, the favorite to win all three races. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
When you're craving a juicy, made-to-order burger with all your favorite toppings, it's time to head to Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Fresh, never-frozen, hand-formed patties, crispy, fresh-cut fries, savory hot dogs, and topped off with an ice-cold real milkshake. Five Guys knows what you like. Come and get it in Huntsville on North Parkway and on Enterprise, and in Madison on Moonshot Drive and Highway 72. Order online at fiveguys.com or just walk in. Five Guys. Perfection every time. The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
The Orthopedic Center. It's in the name. TOC, the premier choice for all your orthopedic needs. With over 40 physicians and 20 centers of excellence, TOC is the name to trust for complete, expert orthopedic care. And that word center, we mean it. With more than a dozen locations across North Alabama and the Tennessee Valley, TOC is in your community whenever you need us. As the state's largest orthopedic practice, TOC is built on trust. Trust we've earned with every patient we serve. You can see that trust on the field, too. As the official sports medicine provider for the Huntsville Havoc, Huntsville City Football Club, Oakwood and Alabama A&M universities, thousands of athletes and coaches count on TOC to keep them in the game. From student athletes to unexpected injuries, our urgent ortho clinics offer prompt, expert care. No appointment necessary. So remember, when it comes to your health and mobility, trust the name that says it all. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Cummins has kept the world running for more than 100 years. Since their founding in 1919, Cummins has been dedicated to leading the charge towards a future with smarter, cleaner power. Cummins sales and service locations are right where you need them when you need your engine or generator set service. And now, Cummins has a new Huntsville branch opening June 10th. They're located on Highway 31 in Tanner, just north of Calhoun College. Cummins expert technicians will keep you up and running. Call them at 205-808-2210.
Have you tried indoor golf yet? You need to check out The Golfus. The Golfus is Huntsville's newest, nicest, and only multi-location indoor golf venue. Spend an hour on the virtual range working on your game or play more than 2,000 golf courses. Our grand opening pricing makes us the best value in town. And if you really love it, grab a limited time, unlimited golf membership for only $99 a month. Get all of the details at thegolfus.com.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Thom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
welcome back. Thom Abraham Show. It's Football Friday. There's a lot of football there with Trey Wallace. Now a chance to talk a little bit of NBA. Everything is calmed down here now in this second round. The second round is looking the way the first round usually looks, but we're going to get into it here with Beau Wallace of NBA.com. He joins us down the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline and on WZZN TV, as well as we make him get up early in California. Once again, he had to drag a brush through his hair and everything else. He didn't have to do that back in the day when we would just put him on the on the air. But now, with the video aspect of everything, he has to be clean shaven and everything else. He joins us now. Beau, welcome to the show, man. How are you?
Well, the whole Hollywood makeup team is in here with me, Thom, and we got up early. You're right, but we're hanging in. It was a fun night last night, and it's getting fun for your Knicks, isn't it?
It is. And let's start with the fun night last night, because I'm going to be brutally honest with you. And we're in the business, and, so we should know better. And you definitely know better. I should know better. But the casual fan out there, right? So last night, I have the NBA games set up to record on my DVR so that I can watch them later. My wife falls asleep, and then I can zip through them and watch them quickly and get all the key moments and watch the game that way. And so she nods off at about 10 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, I watch the Lakers game. I can see that one live pretty much. That's going to be in, middle of the game. And I go to my thing on the YouTube TV, and it's like, there's no games. I'm like, well, where are the games? And then I go look at the guide, and it's ABC, right? No. ESPN, no. ESPN2, no. NBC, no. Where's the freaking? Are they not playing? I was at Jefferson Sports Grill, and I know the Pistons and the Cavs were playing. Where are the friggin' games? And they were on Prime. I have Prime, but it's very difficult. I mean, it's there's so many different places where these games are. Now, I know that tonight they're going to be on Prime again. It's harder to record. You don't really record games. They don't pop into your DVR, when they're on Prime. But there are so many different outlets now, and this is the playoffs. This should be so easy to find. This is where you build casual fans, and I think it's hurtful. You know what I mean? I really do.
Well, that's the long-term question, is what becomes of all this? Do we see fans figure this whole thing out? Because as you said, it's different now. It's not over on TNT and then on ESPN, and that's the ball game. It's Prime. It's
the West. And you know that TNT is going to have all the East, and ESPN is going to have all the West. It used to be you could rely on where they were,
I heard you and Trey talking and basically saying that it's they're making more money now, and money is the name of the game. Well, this is a money play. They got more money for the contract. The league did. This is what the owners wanted. The owners got what they wanted. But as you know, there's like that long-term perspective. Do fans figure it out? Do they stick with us? Are the series so good that they make the effort? That's what the NBA has to show, is that it's worth your effort to figure out how to get over to Prime, how to get over to NBC or Peacock. Do you have a Peacock subscription service? All of these things are questions now that are being answered and will be answered quickly, I think. The ratings are very good, or let me change that. The viewership numbers, which is, when they express it that way, is a different thing than saying ratings. But the hope is that people figure it out. The Knicks going a long way in the playoffs will help that cause, for sure. That's the biggest market we have. The Lakers hanging around till the second round helps that cause. But you're not alone, Thom. I've heard this a lot. I've heard that people are frustrated with trying to figure out where the games are, particularly if they're out at a bar and they want to see the games. These bars now have to pay the Prime fee as well. And not all are willing to do so thus far. So we've got to see how it shakes out.
Yeah, the one I was at, like I said, I was at Jefferson's, and which is a deal around the South, and it was funny watching them frantically going through. They have these big video boards and everything else, and you can see, the woman behind the bar, she's frantically going through.
Yeah,
where's the game? Where's the game? And then finally finding it in the middle of the first quarter. Is where she finds that game. So to the games themselves. The second round's looking like the first round used to look, right? Everything is kind of settled down. It's settled down, everybody. I had said Knicks in 5. The way they came out of their first round series after they hammered, Atlanta down the stretch of that one. I felt like Cleveland would give Pistons a hard time, but after seeing the Pistons in Game 1, it feels like they're going to go in 5. OKC might sweep, the Lakers. I think that the T-Wolves and the Spurs is going to go to distance. I think that's the one that they're going to be hanging around. But these other ones feel like, okay, we're now identifying these teams, and we're steamrolling as glorious as New York, Philadelphia is, because it's New York and Philadelphia. Great rivalry there. If it ends up New York and Detroit in the Eastern Conference Finals, assuming that it's on one network every time and we can find the games every time, that may hit a high water mark for the last 10 or 15 years.
Yeah, and at this point, and I'm not just meaning to make you smile here, it looks like New York really may make an NBA Finals. So that would really push the numbers and everything that the NBA would love to see as far as a successful media postseason in that direction. I do think that you're starting to figure out now with Detroit that they're a 60-win team in the regular season. 60-win teams typically aren't flukes. They're the real deal. So they're starting to flex their muscles, Cleveland Stars did their thing. Donovan Mitchell scored 31 points. He's a top 10 all-time NBA postseason average guy. This is a guy who's bringing it. Still, Cade Cunningham in the fourth quarter took over last night. He goes for a big double-double. They've got guys like Tobias Harris, a veteran scorer who can just get you 20 when you need 20. So Detroit is flexing their muscle. Their defense is coming to play. New York is really playing. I'll be interested to see if Philly can punch back in Game 3. If they can punch back and win Game 3 and make this a series, then things get interesting. But I do agree with you. Somewhere along the line in that New York-Atlanta series, the Knicks found themselves. They were pushed a little bit by a young Hawks team that's going to be a problem in the Eastern Conference for years to come. But I do think the Knicks found themselves, and boy, if they get to an NBA Finals, this is going to be a wild ride. Although, you and I have talked privately about this. Who's beating the Thunder? Who's beating the Western Conference right now?
Yeah. 431 and 34. That's the record of teams that go up 2-0 in the playoffs in the NBA. 431 and 34. That's 92.5%. So those three teams that are down 0-2 got about a 7.5% chance of bouncing back. The dirty little secret in the Philadelphia-New York series is that New York's been better on the road than at home. I was concerned about at MSG. Do they get? We knew they were going to blow them out in Game 1 because Philadelphia expended so much emotion to beat Boston, and they hadn't done it forever. It just felt like the Knicks were just going to roll in there and roll them. Game 2 was the one that would be a concern. They were a 7.5-point favorite, and one of my regular guests came on and he said, and he's a Knicks fan too, from New Jersey, and he said, I'm telling you right now, take the 7.5 points. Philly's going to fight in that game. And sure enough, that game was a basket or two for much of the game, and the Knicks pulled away for the 6-point, I think, win at the end of that game. But I was more concerned about MSG. They've been so good on the road. That's the concern for Philadelphia, is that the Knicks, they could go and get the stranglehold on this thing tonight.
To your point, that Game 2 between Philly and the Knicks had more lead changes than any other game we've had in the playoffs thus far. The 76ers were right there. Tyrese Maxey played Jalen Brunson basically to a draw statistically. They were right there. The thing with the Knicks, and I'll say this is a real credit to them, of all the teams in the Eastern Conference, they more consistently play near their ceiling than any other team, and that's the mark of a veteran team. They're always right there playing near capacity. You see the Sixers go up and down. Even the Pistons go up and down a little bit. The Knicks always play near their capacity. I think in the Western Conference, that's also true of Oklahoma City, which is trouble for everybody. I mean, they're still playing without their second best player, and they're mowing through people right now. Yeah. Oklahoma City is. But at this point in the East, the Knicks just keep grinding and grinding and grinding. They got to get, I think the key is what do the Pistons have for them? Because that was a battle last year. Like you said, it's very likely that these two teams meet. New York has to get to the finals this year because I think the Pistons are still going up, and Cade Cunningham is in my mind, the best player in the Eastern Conference right now that's left out there.
Yeah, Beau Estes with us here talking about the NBA playoffs that are underway. 2 more games, of course, tonight. Spurs and T-Wolves will be the late game after the Knicks and the Sixers. And by the way, they're on Prime, okay? So everybody knows they're both on Prime. So you can go there, buy a Mother's Day gift, watch the game, get a card, do different things or however it is that they do when the games are on Prime. So you can check that out on Prime tonight. Anunoby is out, or not out. He's questionable for tonight. It'd be really nice if they can get through this game without him. How big a loss is it? Because the Knicks seem to be able to run 7-8 guys out there and do some pretty good damage. Can they protect him tonight?
There are times when he is really good for them and really critical for them, physical, relentless effort-wise. So I do think that he is hugely important, but the Knicks have waves. They come at you in waves of players on the wing that are relentless, that are tough, that can get hot shooting. They're not overwhelming shooting by any stretch, those wings, but they can get really good in key moments. And I just think that they're always playing near their best. The Hawks, again, had something for them. If I'm Philly, I'm going and watching tape of those early Hawks games and seeing if you can replicate that. But, let's just be very straightforward and honest. The key in this series, how's Joel Embiid? Is he going to be okay at any point? Like, if he's out there, he killed the Celtics when he came back. He killed them. The Celtics didn't really have an answer. I think the Knicks may have a better answer for Embiid than the Celtics did, at least. But if Embiid is out there and he's near his best, that's really a different thing for the Knicks. You made a good point to say that the Sixers were worn out in Game 1. They were emotionally dead out there after that Celtics series. I think that the start of Game 3 is going to tell you about the rest of this series. If Philly can get off to a good start, if they can push New York in a really good way and somehow capture that game, we got a series. If New York just punches them out of the park early on, this thing's over.
Is there a player outside of Wemby who's a freak? We know that. I mean, seeing the beginning of something that's going to be a 20-year unbelievable type of deal long after I'm done doing this. Outside of Wemby, though, is there a team or is there a player or is there a team that's more reliant on a guy, than the Knicks are on Jalen Brunson, who is not a real big guy, and he's been banged up in the past before. Yeah. Be so physical against him and try and get him off the floor, get him off his game. I mean, he's a fire plug, but he's not a real big guy. And it just seems like they are so reliant on him. And, if something happens to him, he has to miss any kind of time at all. That's it. I mean, it just feels like they couldn't recover from that. He can recover from a lot of things. I don't know that Jalen Brunson going off the floor. I don't know if there's another guy outside of Wemby that's as important to his team as Brunson is to the Knicks.
I think the team that doesn't struggle with that sort of reliance is the Oklahoma City Thunder, weirdly, and they've got the MVP. I think they can survive even losing SGA at this point. Yeah, that's how good they are. Yeah. It doesn't matter to them. I think Cade Cunningham would be a huge loss for the Detroit Pistons. But I think that maybe Jalen Brunson is the guy that is, most important for team success out there of anybody left. It's not only just what he does. I think it's what he brings mentally to the table, his toughness. I mean, Did you see earlier in the playoffs when he's out there yelling at his dad? I mean, this guy is fiery. He's intense. He doesn't give a darn who he's going up against, even his own father out there, to get this thing home. I think I love the guy. I actually taught his sister broadcasting a couple summers ago. Got some insight into the family. Yeah. They're a really cool family. They're tough people. And boy, I just think the world of Jalen Brunson. And like you said, he's not a big guy. I will say this. What's interesting about Jalen Brunson is he is revolutionizing the teaching of young guards at the high school level. The strength in his legs, the way that he can work defenders off him just with that core and leg strength versus just incredible quickness is something young guards are really trying to learn, and that's a Jalen Brunson thing. He deserves a mountain of credit. He's never going to win an MVP. He's not that sort of a player, but a playoff MVP, if things go right, that could be your guy.
What I love about him too, I mean, he's intelligent. I love his interviews. After the game when they talk to him, he's an intelligent guy. He's thoughtful. What he is saying and stuff. An educated guy. So he's definitely, you could see the impact of his family, on him there. All right, the Spurs are about a 3.5 point favorite tonight on the road at Minnesota. T-Wolves, I think this is their, if they drop this one and the Spurs get back to having, home ice advantage, then they're going to go ahead and pull away probably and finish this thing off. But if Minnesota can hold the home court at least tonight, then it's got some doubt maybe climbs into the minds of the San Antonio Spurs, and that pushes this one to be in the most competitive series. What do you think tonight? Does Wemby and the Spurs, get this victory here tonight?
I think Wembanyama and the Spurs are the team of the future of this league. I think I'm not saying anything bright or insightful there. I think that this is clearly that sort of a player if he stays healthy. But I think that Minnesota, who has been so decimated by injuries, is getting healthier. Anthony Edwards is starting to get healthier. Ayo Dosunmu, who is so critical for them, is starting to get healthier. Can they put together enough to have a hot shooting performance in Game 3 and get this one? Like you said, if they get this one, it gets really interesting. And as far as Wembanyama is concerned, look at his scoring numbers in this series. He's not doing as much, and that's a credit to his countryman, Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is an all-time great defensive player. He can present problems to Wembanyama that few other players can. Look, Wembanyama's better than him. Wembanyama's going to score more than him. Wembanyama's bigger than him, but Rudy Gobert is the closest approximation defensively to Victor Wembanyama, and you can see it's causing him problems. I think Wembanyama only had 11 points in Game 1. He had a triple-double with blocks, which is insane, but it's still limiting him. So other guys have to score, like Steph Castle. Can they do that consistently on the road, deep in the playoffs as young players? That's a great question to see going forward.
They say with blocks. Minnesota say with goaltendings.
Hey, I saw that too. There was more than one. But the other thing I'd say on that is he's just so hard to referee. I saw the first time that guy stepped on an NBA court. I was right there and just walking past you. I've been in the room at Inside the NBA with Shaq walking past you. It's a thing when he's standing right next to you. Victor Wembanyama is something else, something like I've never seen in my life.
And he's 235 right now. He's going to be 250 at some point,
yes.
255 when he fills into that body. Because I remember Shaq in Orlando. I saw Shaq live in Orlando twice, and he was never skinny like this kid is, but Shaq wasn't the diesel that he became, when he got real big. Wemby, just normally, he's going to gain some natural weight, and when he gets a little bit of weight on him, because that's the only thing that scares me. Every time, it's like watching Bambi cross the street.
Yes.
Every time he goes up for a dunk or something, or when he falls down or whatever, I'm like, oh my God, he's going to his legs. It doesn't, he's just so thin, but it's it's really something to watch. And
look at the young pictures of Giannis Antetokounmpo versus 28-year-old Giannis Antetokounmpo. If he takes that path, if Wembanyama takes that path, I don't know where this stops, but Michael Jordan might be in trouble. We're at that level. Easy. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, easy. He's that kind of talent. And also, Tom, you mentioned smart earlier. He's a super smart guy. He's a super dedicated guy. He gives everything he absolutely has. This may be something like we've never seen in our lives.
So nobody is ever going to wear number one again in the NBA after that? Is that what's going to happen? Just like
it could be.
And if they shut down to 23, I don't know where that stupid story came up that they're going to shut down to 23 because of the king or the queen or whatever it is. And one of my all-time favorite.
What do you call yourself? King, queen, princess, whatever you are.
Who was it? Who was it that dropped that on him? It was Cleveland. I remember that was hilarious. All right.
That almost sounds like Noah, Joakim Noah in his Cleveland.
No, it wasn't Noah. It was gosh, the name jumped out of my head.
Zydrunas Ilgauskas? Who is that?
Yes, that's who it was. It was Ilgauskas. Yeah, it was Ilgauskas. It was.
What do you call yourself? King, queen, princess, whatever you are.
Whatever you are.
My God.
Thanks for getting up in the morning with us, and we'll look forward to picking another day at some point in time when we get to the third round of this whole deal.
Take care, buddy.
All right, man. Thanks. Notice he didn't say, just call me. He didn't say that. He just said, take care. All right. Well, we got to get one in, right? We got to get it in.
You
I
can
know I went
force
long.
the break, but we might not come back from it.
Well, we might not, but we got, we've got, I worry about the affiliates. You know what I mean? I screw them up when I do that. That's what I worry about. I worry about Nashville, I worry about Winchester, and then I screw those guys up. I hate to do that. All right, let's force a break in here. We'll come back, and maybe we'll be back. Maybe we will.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Cummins has kept the world running for more than 100 years. Since their founding in 1919, Cummins has been dedicated to leading the charge towards a future with smarter, cleaner power. Cummins sales and service locations are right where you need them when you need your engine or generator set service. And now, Cummins has a new Huntsville branch opening June 10th. They're located on Highway 31 in Tanner, just north of Calhoun College. Cummins expert technicians will keep you up and running. Call them at 205-808-2210. Thom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead ran away and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
All right, that's going to do it for the show today. Sorry if I messed you guys up down the road. That's my bad. We'll do it again on Monday. For Grasshopper and Hollywood Hogan, I'm Thom Abraham. Have a great day, everybody.